Let me welcome everyone to the Asian Center, particularly our resource persons, Secretary Dicky Suliman, Mr. Peter Atin, Mr. Paul Singer, and Dr. Shelito Abito. We are honored to be a key partner in this global RIPESS gathering. We feel we are the right venue to host this ASEAN Leadership Forum. And of course, let me talk a little about ASEAN. According to the ASEAN Charter, the ASEAN Economic Community shall act in accordance to the principles of an open, outward-looking, inclusive, and market-driven economy consistent with multilateral rules as well as adherence to rules-based systems for effective compliance and implementation of economic commitments. This type of economic integration, unfortunately, may not bring about inclusive progress. For instance, one of the so-called dynamic effects of economic integration is that it will spur domestic investment, but its geographical localization in each country, as well as within the ASEAN group of countries, is shifting towards the strongest markets, away from the more peripheral, poorer areas. In addition, due to the so-called trade diversion effect, that is, goods and services produced within a country, be it at a rather uncompetitive cost, will be replaced by imports of these goods and services from the more competitive partner countries. There will be disinvestment in some industries, leading to new regional disparities. Among ASEAN leaders, there is hardly any discussion whether these tendencies will be corrected. Indeed, according to Alexander Chandra of the International Institute for Sustainable Development, while the region has seen significant economic growth, accompanied by a consistent rise in real per capita incomes over the past few years, poverty and the unequal distribution of income remain key problems. Although ASEAN member states consider development and developmental regionalism important components of existing ASEAN regional economic integration initiatives, the extent to which the implementation of these initiatives reflects the developmental needs of the people in the region remains debatable. Moreover, the financial crisis of 1997 has shown us the vulnerability of even the more prosperous countries to the impacts of the global market. It is against this backdrop that the solidarity mechanisms of SSE will be particularly vital in promoting equitable and inclusive development in the region. So let me draw your attention to some of the key challenges that will make solidarity a basic principle anchored in the ASEAN Charter. The key is to develop a balance between ASEAN's desire to adopt the principle of open regionalism and the organization's imperative of lifting millions out of poverty. How do we do this? I try to combine the suggestions that come mainly from the Solidarity for Us Asian People's Advocacy's Working Group on the ASEAN with those of the International Institute for Sustainable Development and the SSE platform of Luis Razeto Migliaro, the father of Solidarity Economics. One, ensure that ASEAN member countries provide the necessary political and economic commitments, such as a strong social protection element for the full implementation of their socio-economic initiatives. The pursuit of ASEAN economic development should not be at the expense of labor, environment, and human rights standards. Regional economic initiatives should be open and transparent. They should put people at the center and seek their participation. Two, reform the principle of non-interference by harmonizing existing norms and mechanisms to address transboundary economic concerns. This will pave the way for increased welfare that helps reduce social and border tension, prioritizing people-to-people exchange in trade and other forms of interaction. 3, find ways to empower marginalized economic groups. This means the following: encourage businessmen and women who want to combine efficiency and solidarity, in addition to aspiring to establish new and harmonious models of economic relationships. Also, fight for native and indigenous peoples that struggle to recover their identities and find in solidarity economics a modern economic form by which they can apply and experience values and relationships in accordance to their community-based cultures. 4, an accountable ASEAN leadership and efficient governments should take place amidst popular mandate and legitimacy. Here it is necessary to uphold the principle of social dialogue and consultation with civil society, local governments, and social movements. An active citizenry that participates in democratic political life, promotes dynamic economic development and peaceful diversity. And 5, recognize a policy mix that is informed by heterodox economic thinking and policy analysis, founded on redistributive justice, poverty eradication, and growth with equity. ASEAN must make use of intellectuals from diverse disciplines who are searching for new answers to the big social problems of our times, new patterns of social and development change. Finally, it is necessary to encourage ASEAN leaders to acquire an understanding of the limitations and inefficiencies inherent to the theoretical setting of conventional economics and insist that they promote new conceptual paradigms and new relationships between social theory and practice. Good morning.